Basically, everybody's out picking up and cutting up downed tree branches. Well, that storm ripped through and we have no power, so I'm running to the hospital to charge up my shirt. I'm wearing a headlamp. This is me in my headlamp in the dark. What a weird fucking year it's been. I get in the car and I can turn off this headlamp. Okay, so I'm gonna talk for a second. Let me turn this off. This is gonna be a weird ass vlog. I live in the Midwest. We had that derecho come through. So basically like hurricane force winds without the twister. There we go. So we basically had 100-mile-an-hour winds rip through here yesterday. Thousands of people are without power, trees down everywhere, power lines down. They said it's gonna take like 3 days to fix. So I slept all day. Poor Doug was bored out of his mind. He drained all the batteries on all of the electronic devices, which I expected because what the fuck else are you supposed to do all day? Can't go out. Stuff's down everywhere, so it's not like we can go ride bikes and shit. So he was just hanging out at the house, keeping occupied. And so now I'm going back to the hospital. I'm not scheduled to work tonight, but it's literally the only place that has power. And it's like almost 10 o'clock at night. And so I'm just gonna sneak into the break. Well, not sneak in, I'm gonna walk in with my badge. This is kind of weird and apocalyptic because it's like we can't cook food. Even if we do cook all our food, we can't refrigerate it after we cook it. We were driving around today trying to find a gas station where we could get gas, but it was like fucking pandemic freak out mode. Everybody was like lined up to get gas, and we needed gas because we were on empty. And we were like, oh, well, we can charge our phones in the car and get a little air conditioning blast in the car, but then we were like, oh shit, we're on empty. So we drove around today and it was just insane. I was like, I'm not waiting in this madness. There are people filling up like multiple tanks of gas, like the little red tanks, just like hoarding gas. But yeah, like crazy lines at the gas station. And so Doug went later this evening and found a gas station and got gas with much less chaos. So it's fucking insane. And it's really weird because I'm going to be very careful because it's dark and most of the street lights are out. The stop lights are out. Some of them are working. There are parts of the neighborhoods that have power, but for the most part, we're all out of power. I think there were so many lines torn down and so much extensive damage that it's going to take them a few days. So I am going to stop talking now. I'm going to drive to the hospital, charge stuff up, fill up my water and my ice, and then come back home to the dark. The funny thing is that I have way more charged up LED lights in the house than I realized. So Doug, as I'm walking around gathering up all these lights, Doug is like, I didn't even know you had half this shit. And I'm like, aren't you glad I online shop too much? Okay, so I'm gonna take my puffy ass post 4 shift face and go to work. So yeah, let's go. All right, well, I've been here at the hospital for about, I don't know, like 45 minutes now. I've got all my stuff plugged in. I went downstairs and grabbed a bite to eat, refilled my ice. I haven't really been out on the unit because I don't want people to know that I'm hanging out on the unit tonight because this is a not desirable thing to do and people might find it weird, but I need all of my shit charged or we're gonna be like straight up in the dark. And I slept all day, so I'm gonna be up all night. So I would really like to have some movies downloaded, get some social media shit done, and then I'll go home back to the dark. But here's what I got going on. So you'll see here I have all this shit charging. Got some stuff in my bag charging. Got Doug's laptop charging. I've got over here, I've got my battery packs charging. And I'm sitting behind the shield. Got my shield here in case I need it, but I did go downstairs and get some food. Got a couple goodies to take to Doug. Got a cookie, Rice Krispie treat, that sort of thing. So just an array of junk food. The vlog is kind of a mishmash of shit, and I don't even know how it's gonna turn out. So if you've watched this far, thank you very much. I have a lot of great episodes planned and ready. Well, not ready. That's the problem. They're not ready, but I have no electricity. So I can't edit anything, and I can't sit here for hours and hours and hours to do the editing, because I need to be at home for obvious reasons. Like, you need to go home. Anyway, I don't even know what else there is to say right now. I'm gonna just sit here, charge this stuff up, stay occupied, watch some YouTube, and then get out of here as soon as I fucking... This is creepy. This is a busy intersection that's usually all lit up, and it's black as fuck. So it's almost 1 in the morning. I'm headed home. It's been a weird day. Let's hope for power soon. Well, it's another day of no electricity. It was cool enough last night that I think I slept pretty good, but today we have to figure out the food situation. Good thing we did all that planning for the pandemic and bought all this food that we now can't eat. Even if it's not bad, we're just not opening the freezer because we don't want to let the cold air out and the hot air in. So we will open it as soon as the power's back on.
About 3 degrees.
I want to see these veggies.
It's smelling good.
It's smelling really good. I mean, that even looks good raw. Oh, I feel like a cowboy. It is a beautiful morning. I was able to shower with lights again, which was really nice. And I'm really grateful that the neighbor didn't like burn our house down with his cardboard fire in the grass. We got electricity back, and I'm really grateful. We made do. We were very creative, and I have a lot of USB charged devices that got us through with, still having access to some electronic use. That was pretty nice. Mid-American did a great job restoring power, and if anybody else is still without power and you need to charge something or store food, we got an empty refrigerator. So send me a message. Well, we've had the electricity on for 24 hours now, and I mostly have the kitchen cleaned up. We went out and we bought a ton of groceries and restocked the refrigerator. I'm really lucky that I can do that, because if this had happened to me 10 years ago, or even 6 years ago, 5 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to repurchase all this food. So I recognize that I'm in a better place in life than I was in my mid to early 20s. So there's that. Not having power for 64 hours makes you reevaluate how you live your life and how you make ends meet. So I've decided to take some of the food. I just blanched and boiled and cold water shocked some corn. I'm gonna preserve that. I've got some vegetables to put away, and I work tonight, so it's like almost 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm trying to be kind of quiet so I don't wake up Doug, but I'm gonna get ready for work, and I'm really glad the power's back on and that I'm not like getting ready for work like up all night with literally nothing to do. And it was so quiet and dark, like there's no moon right now, and so the last few nights have been it's been like camping, except in my apartment. We've had all the windows open, and now we finally have the AC back on, because the other day it was pretty hot. We kept taking those car rides so that we could cool Mac off and, you know, cool ourselves off. So I'm really glad this is over. For me, there are a lot of people that still don't have power, and some people don't have water either, or hot water. We're lucky we have a gas water heater, so we've had hot water this whole time. Because of the pandemic, I'm really hesitant to open my home to anybody, but if friends need things charged, or they need ice, or they need food or whatever, I'm down for that. But like, you get to see my kitchen at night. The other night, one night ago, it was completely pitch black in here, so I'm glad I don't have to walk around my house in a headlamp, although you just don't care about what you look like when you're recovering from a derecho. My lunch, making sure I have everything in my bag together. Fortunately, we did some laundry today, so I have clean scrubs. Yeah. Wow. What a weird week.